Hey Krishna, so all the devotees, welcome to the Saturday program. So we are discussing the final two verses of 7th chapter, knowledge of the absolute. Yeah. So we are going to recite these verses, then we will discuss and understand the application of these verses in our own life. 29th verse, Jara Marana Mokshaya Mam Ashritya Yatantite Te Brahma Tad Vidu Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam Jara Marana Mokshaya Mam Ashritya Yatantiye Te Brahmayat Vidu Krishnam Adhyatmam Karma Chakilam. Translation: intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. So there are two lines, very important lines. Lord Krishna in the first two lines, he is describing the definition of intelligent people. These intelligent people who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death, what do? They take shelter in me in devotional service. And second line, Lord Krishna is saying, they are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. Jara Marana Mokshaya, very important. Conclusion of knowledge of the Absolute, Lord Krishna is summarizing in these two verses. And Lord Krishna is defining who is the intelligent person. Lord Krishna defined in the second chapter also, Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana. In the Karma Yoga chapter of second in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna elaborately explained an intelligent person is one who is focused, whose aim is only one. Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana. So Krishna saying, Arjuna, your point of focus at this moment of time is about war, fighting in the war. But what should be your internal focus? Why you are fighting in this war? It is for the betterment of my soul. Vyavasayatmikaha, you are fighting for the soul, although the bodies are perishing in the war. But you are fighting it for the sake of your soul, because you are engaging in the occupational duty of the soul by fighting in the war. How is it that you are engaging in the occupational duty of the soul by fighting in the war? Because war is not meant for reclaiming the kingdom. War is meant for testing ourselves to reclaim Krishna in our life. Very important. Everyone fights war. We are also fighting small war in our own life. While we are fighting in these wars, we need to understand the purpose of this war is not to win over and get some material outcome, but resultant should be whether we understood the purpose of life. That is very important. Lord Krishna is saying he is the intelligent person. So he is saying in this verse, the intelligent person is one who understands there are two obstacles in his life, or the two challenges in this material life where he is leading, Jara and Marana. Jara Marana Mokshaya. If you are fabulously rich, if you are successful in this material world, accumulating wealth, having beauty, having control, having fame, everything, that is not the end of life. As Krishna is saying, it's very important. Have you won over old age? Who has won over old age in this world? How is it possible to win over the old age? No one has been successful in today's world to win over the old age. No one has been successful to win over the disease, even though they might have the entire wealth of this entire material world, still they had old age, they had disease, they had death ultimately. Jara Marana Mokshaya, disease and death, these two are the actual challenges in our life. Even Parikshit Maharaj, who was the king of this entire world, he was given 7-day ultimatum that you are going to leave this world. Who are we in front of Parikshit Maharaj? Absolutely, we are insignificant. We don't have the control like Parikshit Maharaj, who ruled over the entire world. We are insignificant compared to Parikshit Maharaj. We are insignificant compared to his fame. We are insignificant compared to his power. We are insignificant compared to his wealth. He had the wealth of this entire Bharatavarsha. The Bharatavarsha of 5,000 years back was at the entire earthly planet. Today all these United States of America, London, all these places which have come, they are all extended Bharata. There was only one country in this entire creation, Bharatavarsha. So we need to understand, even the Parikshit Maharaj was given the ultimatum of 7 days. And see the glory of Parikshit Maharaj. He took it that I got 7 days ultimatum that I am actually going to leave this world. I am so lucky that I got the warning. Most people don't even get the warning in this world that they are going to leave. How fortunate I am that I got the 7-day ultimatum that I am going to leave this world, and I got a person who can equip me. Sukadev Goswami, I met him in the forest, who is going to speak to me about lessons for this life which became molded as Srimad Bhagavatam. So Parikshit Maharaj was blissful. Why? Because the second line. What does the second line say? The second line says they are actually Brahman. Because Parikshit Maharaj was intelligent, because he was qualitatively Brahman. What does the Brahman means? He engaged his life, realizing ultimate goal of life is to remember Krishna, chant his names, and earn the love for Krishna. That is the most ultimate goal of life. That is Parikshit Maharaj understood. 29th verse of 7th chapter is very, very, very much important for us to realize the goal of life. Krishna is telling he is Brahman because he is the resident of the spiritual world. It doesn't mean that he is God. He is Brahman means, for example, if a person goes to Australia, gets a citizenship in Australia, goes to Australia, he is not Australia, he is an Australian resident. He is called an Australian. Similarly, Brahman means resident of the spiritual world. Very, very important concept for us to understand. Brahman is not impersonal. Brahman can be impersonal, but the ultimate understanding of Brahman is personal, where we have our spiritual identity. Just like we are taking the passport of Australia, going to the Australia and living there, because of certain qualification, we became qualified to reside in Australia. If we acquire the qualification of a Brahman, we will become the resident of the spiritual world. Krishna says those people are intelligent because they have understood this world is Jara Marana, disease, old age, and Marana, death. The old age, the definition of the old age, is attribute to it is a disease. Jarana, Marana, Mokshaya, the old age, and ultimately Marana, death. If one is able to win over it, he is called an intelligent person as per Krishna. What does he do by winning over the old age and death? Winning over the old age and death means we have become Brahman, means we have become the resident of the spiritual world. That is the only place, the spiritual world, where there is no old age, there is no death. Jara Marana Mokshaya Mam Ashritya Yatantiye. You cannot get these two. You will not be able to liberate yourself from old age and death unless and until there is a shelter taken to Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. It is not possible. Krishna says that person is intelligent. There are so many definitions of intelligent people in this world. Many people regard intelligent person is someone who is very, very clever to actually maneuver or navigate. Yeah? How can you navigate nicely? He is called an intelligent person. For example, my second daughter Vrinda just now finished her 10th examination. And when I had gone to collect her from the examination center, her friends were making laugh at her that, Vrinda, you are given the chance, you are given a chit to see what some important answers. You don't want to accept and you are writing on yourself. You are the most foolish person. And many classmates of her, were cheating, asking what is the answer. And the teacher in her school, when I met him after, he was saying, she's so honest. No matter what the disturbance other students were doing, she was focusing on writing the exams with the ability of her not to take any feedback, anything from others, but honestly try what I know, write what I know. And in today's world, that is tagged as most foolish. Unfortunately, how is it that, when concession given to, exchange some words between students, you are not at all interested, and one of the subject, she wrote one wrong, and the one her friends were saying, you are most fool. You could have avoided this if you had listened. So very, very important for us to understand what is actually truth. The ultimate standards of all truth, that is the goal of life. How can we sincere endeavor ourselves honestly, ethically? Sukhe dukkhe samay krutva labho alabho jaya jayo tato yuddha yuddhasva naivam papam aupyasi. Krishna tells, irrespective of whatever difficulties comes, are you following the ethical route? That is a very, very important. That is called as most people in this world, that is being branded as unintelligent. A businessman is called intelligent who can maneuver. The shrewdest of the shrewdest is called a businessman. How can he cheat as quickly as possible? How can he lie as cleverly as possible and get the work done? A politician is called most intelligent, clever, if he is able to maneuver things according to his way, not honestly working for the welfare of the society. A student who can crack the exam is called the most intelligent. Doesn't matter which path he follows to do that. Even if it is an unethical path, do it, but score it. Ultimate win is determined by your marks, not by your sincerity, not by honesty, not by integrity, not by keeping your truthfulness. So in this world of this unethical manufacturing of this entire world game, how it is running in today, how to call as an intelligent person? Krishna defines, Krishna's definition never changes. Krishna told Arjuna, you are fighting in the battlefield is not to win the war, but develop a habit of engaging in the war by taking shelter of me. How can we engage in our own small wars which we have in our own life? Each one of us have our own war. How can we win over it? Actually, my sister went to Australia just 2 days back, and she was intensely crying when she was leaving. And after arriving in Australia, she's been calling me and she's been speaking to me because she feels her part of her life she left going to Australia. What she defined as a life living here, that is no more after going to Australia. She is feeling lonely, homesick, calling, having been attached to me for years and years. She's calling, what you're doing, had your breakfast, had your lunch, had your dinner, can we talk? So I was telling her my own journey of living in Australia, when I used to come over here and go back. Every year I used to come for 6 weeks. Once I go back, I used to literally cry. I used to feel that this is not a place where, I can live. I couldn't able to relate to the lifestyle. I couldn't able to, though fantastic in terms of the weather, in terms of beauty, in terms of nature, in terms of life, comfort, but I couldn't able to relate. So I used to keep on calling my relatives. I used to keep on calling my mother and father, parents, asking what's happening. It used to take nearly 2 to 3 months to adjust back, and again 6 months again coming back to India. So I was telling her that you will settle down after 2 months. And I was giving an example. We were residents of the spiritual world actually. Allide namma mane illi bande sumane, as Purandaradasa says. Actual residency of us is not Australia, not England, not US, not Canada, not Netherlands or Switzerland or China or Taiwan or Japan or New Zealand, Kiwis. They are all not residents. Actual residence is spiritual world. Allide namma mane illi bande sumane, as Purandara says. We came to this world because we wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna. We were having terrible sickness when we actually came to this world, because we were naturally habituated to live in the spiritual world where there is no birth, there is no death, there is no old age, there is no disease. There is no Adhyatmika, Adidevika, Adibhotika Klesha. Absolutely there is no natural disorders. Absolutely there is no vaccination you need to take. Everyone are naturally having a lifestyle which is inclined to serve Krishna and lead our life happily, blissfully, in whatever state, whether we are bachelor or a householder, doesn't matter. All of us had a same one occupation, which is to serve Krishna and living happily. But we wanted to enjoy what the opulence Lord Krishna had in the spiritual world. Wanted to enjoy separately from Krishna, and we fell down to this material world, and absolutely we were in a chaos of sickness, unable to bear. But gradually we conditioned to this world, and we thought success in this material world is all in all. Becoming opulent is all in all. Becoming controlling this world is all in all. Becoming, even though Ravana used to control this entire world, even though Hiranyakashipu used to control in this world, they had Prahalad who taught them that you are insignificant. Even to Hiranyakashipu, what to talk about us. But still, without having beauty, having opulence, having control, having fame, this is the goal of our life, and we became conditioned to it, thinking this is life all in all. Until and unless we came to an experience of being with devotees of Krishna. Just like when my sister came back to India and being with relatives, being with affectionate people, she could able to see the natural state of living. Now she is feeling sickness going back to Australia. Similarly, we had a natural state of living with Krishna. We came to this world conditioned to the false identification of achievement in this world, but again natural conditioning, if it happens, reconditioning back to the original state of Vaikuntha, then ultimately the entire problem is solved. Even if we are living in this world, we are blissful, we are happy, because Krishna is there with me. Krishna is my life partner. Krishna is the person ultimately I love for. Krishna is the person whom I see in each and every affectionate living beings with whom I share my love. That is the goal of human life. That Krishna is saying, Jara Marana Mokshaya. he is the most intelligent people. He is the most intelligent person because he understood the goal of life. Bhagavad Gita is not to make us materially competitive, though it might have skills or the secrets to become competitive, but ultimately what do you do once you are competitive, having skills, talents and facilities? What you do is the matter which actually the ultimate truth that is discussed in Bhagavad Gita, that is the true goal of life. Bhagavad Gita is not meant to give us skills, talents and facilities. Bhagavad Gita is meant to give us, using your current skills, talents and facilities, how can you engage in the service of Krishna, remember Krishna, offer each and every outcome of your skills, talents and facilities in the service of Krishna. That is the goal of Bhagavad Gita. A farmer may have all the instruments to till the land. He might know that being an agriculturist is to actually grow vegetables and ensure that the land which he has, he maximizes producing grains. But if he doesn't know the instruments he needs to use, and if he foolishly utilizes a BMW car for tilling the farmland, he is called the foolish, because the tiller has its work, BMW has its work. Similarly, our human body is not meant to accumulate wealth, accumulate beauty, accumulate fame, accumulate control. Our human body is meant to love Krishna. That is the goal of life. A farmer maximizing the grains from the earth, the space what he has, doesn't make him the most intelligent if he misses the fact understanding the purpose of the instrument what he has. So the goal of our human life is to utilize this human body to reawaken our soul, reawaken its natural position of being lover of Krishna, understanding my real companion is Krishna. Friends come and go, relatives come and go, wife come and go, husband comes and goes, boss comes and goes. Krishna stays forever. Even midst of your wife is there, even midst of husband is there, even in midst of your relative is there, sister is there, brother is there. Krishna will keep on living with us. Even though all of them leave, Krishna never leaves us. If we can understand this, ultimately, knowledge of the Absolute from the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we have successfully understood. I might have different companions because I had my father a few years back, he left. All my father's friends, one after the other, they are living. What does it say? I also have someday, I also need to leave. My companion also need to leave one day. So companions come and go, but the real companion, Krishna, will stay with me forever, birth after birth after birth after birth after birth. He is the closest friend, he is the closest lover, he is the closest father, he is the closest mother, he is the closest companion. Doesn't matter in which mood you love Krishna. He might be my boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever, however you call it. But ultimately, Krishna is our real companion. He is going to stay with us birth after birth after birth. This is the essence of 29th verse of the 7th chapter. Jara marana mokshaya mamashritya tantiye te brahma tad viduk krishnam adhyatmam karma chakilam. How can we become Brahman? Means becoming a resident of the spiritual world, qualitatively becoming a resident of spiritual world, qualitatively becoming residents of this spiritual world means machitta madgata pranaha bodhayantaha parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Machittaha, how can I think about Krishna always? Madgataha, how can I consider Krishna as my life? Pranaha, I don't see anything life other than Krishna. Bodhayantaha parasparam. How can I share Krishna with others, the loved ones? Kathayantascha mam nityam. How can I speak about the glories of Krishna to the others? Tushyanti cha ramanti cha. In this way, he enjoys the life. He is happy. That is the true essence of Brahman. He is the real resident of the spiritual world while living in this material world. For example, if you are going to Australia, let us say you are looking for an Australian citizenship or Australian resident. What do? They train you, rehabilitate you to make you understand what does it mean to be in Australia. When I left to Australia in 1998, I was given a corporate training for 3 days. An Australian came and he showed the videos of how the Australia is, which are the various capitals of states of Australia, how people live there, what you should do, what you should not do, what is the etiquette of going to the toilet in corporate world in Australia. Don't utilize water, although it is not a Vedic way. How you should eat, how you should speak, how you should greet. Those are all were taught to us because I was going to Australia. Similarly, if my ultimate goal is Jara Marana Mokshaya, ultimately, why should we suffer like this in this world? We need to come out of these problems we see life after life after life. That doesn't mean that we don't live in this world realistically. We live in this world realistically. At the same time, we train ourselves to become habituated with the lifestyle of the spiritual world. That is Brahman while living in this material world. How can we become Brahman with the state of mind, thinking about Krishna, chanting about Krishna, serving Krishna, even whatever we do as with connection to Krishna. Ultimately, we develop love. We earn Krishna in our life. What else is there to earn than Krishna? Why we need to earn? Because Lord Krishna is Sa Adi Bhuta, Sa Adi Daivam Mam, Sadi Eknam Chaye Viduhu, Prayana Kale Apichamam Te Vidur Yukta Chetasah. 30th verse. Sa Adi Bhuta, Sa Adi Daivam Mam, Sa Adi Egnam Chame Viduhu. Because Lord Krishna is the governing principle of this entire creation. If you are able to see how the nature is working, Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi, Lord Krishna says, my Adhyaksha leadership, Prakriti, this entire nature is working. Nature has a governing principle. Please understand this. What is this governing principle? The laws that make up this entire world. Ultimately, law of karma that binds all of us. Each and every creation in this world has a governing principle. Certain fruits grow in certain time. Certain flower bloom in certain time. Certain fruits grow in certain land. Certain seasoning. Certain atmospheric condition. We have oceanic water surrounding the earth planet. It has its own place. Everything is working under gravitational force. Earth has its significance. Earth rotates. We have a day and light. Sun doesn't disappear, although our workers disappear, our employees disappear immediately. Sun doesn't disappear. Sun always gives shelter to the earth planet. Moon comes in the right time, although he is working 24/7. He comes to work for each and every residence of this entire creation. What a governing principle we have. Water, 70% of this entire earthly planet is filled with water, yet there is a water scarcity because the sea water is not ideal for drinking, ideal for consumption. Water is there 70%, there has to be a season There has to be a cooperation of sun and the moon and the sea waves, which becomes a seasonal and gives us cloud and gives us rain, through which we get drinking palatable water. See, the governing principle of this nature makes us to understand that there is an intelligent, and the intelligent behind this is an intelligent person. Intelligence and the intelligent person is Krishna. He is the governing principle. Governing principle of this earth itself is so complex to understand. There are millions of planets like this, which are surrounded by thousands of sun planets. This sun planet, what we are seeing, is not just one sun planet. There are many, many. Sa Adi Bhuta, Sa Adi Daivam. He manages this entire world creation functioning, keeping so many confidential servitors who are the demigods, Indra, Agni, Varuna, Vayu. They are all working under a direction of Krishna. Knowing all this, we need to understand, even when we pluck something and eat, that is a blessing of Krishna. How can we reciprocate with that blessing? By sacrificing whatever work we do as a love and offering for Krishna. Just like a loving daughter sacrifices and does work that is pleasing to the parents. Similarly, entire resident of all must work in a way that pleases Krishna. Else, we might accumulate anything in this world. They are all illusionary, that just work companion, but we leave all those and become again coming back to Baba, black sheep. Have you any wool? Collect it again. Yeah. So knowing this, Krishna says, Prayana kale apichamam te vidur yukta chetasaha. He understands. Who understands? All these human beings who have lost, they have forgotten what is the ultimate goal of life. He says, all of us, once we understand the goal of life is Krishna, Prayana kale apichamam, we prepare ourselves that ultimately our purpose is to remember Krishna. Now, remember Krishna even at a time of leaving this world. That is the goal of our human life. And every chapter of Gita, Krishna keeps reminding us this knowledge, ultimate knowledge. So, how can we actually remember Krishna as the ultimate goal of life? Simple. By chanting the names of Krishna. That is the blessing. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By doing chanting, we are connecting with our loved ones. Connecting to each and every living entities of this world, because the ultimate union is when we relate to Krishna, because Krishna is the ultimate combining agent of the entire universal world. Simple process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ultimate purpose of life you'll be able to achieve. Anyone can achieve. Doesn't matter whether he's educated, non-educated, Australian, Indian, African, Taiwanese, Chinese, European, American, Canadian, Swiss. Anyone can achieve this goal of life. We just need to come in the association with the devotees. The last verse of the 7th chapter, Prabhupada explains in the purport, how is it possible to do that? Prabhupada explains, simple. If you want to be happy in this world, blissful, be with Krishna. Because you never see Krishna, never in a sorrowful mode. Krishna is always playing flute, enchanting each and every living beings. Be with Krishna. How to be with Krishna? Be with devotees of Krishna. Being with the devotees of Krishna, we remember Krishna all the time, because devotees have only one function to do. Somehow, enakena prakarena, somehow or the other, make everyone to remember Krishna. So, please Do not deprive yourself from this ultimate benefit what we all have. Please do not deprive yourself. Life is very, very short. Our purpose of life is to earn Krishna, not earn money. Money is required practically to live in this world, but money is not all in all. Money is required to buy things that we can nicely cook for Krishna. We get lot of lychees and strawberries and everything. Yeah, you need money practically to buy it, and it's a blissful time of buying it. And if we just eat it without even offering to Krishna, we have failed in our attempts to be, Brahman. Trying to be Brahman means we are ultimately understanding, yes, money is practically required, but once we have the money, once I have strawberry in my hand, important is to cut those strawberries and keep it in near the feet of Krishna and love him and offer him. Whatever we have, offer to Krishna and have it. As prasada. Prasade sarva dukkhanam. Our conditioning today is everything we take it as a bhoga. There is no concept of offering. Leave about concept of offering. People today talk about the quality of food, but we are not forgetting the quality of the body itself. We get up in the morning, we brush our teeth, go to the kitchen and start cooking. With the horrible conscience of our previous day, sleeping for 8 to 9 hours, we don't clean our body, we start cooking again. We talk about, the quality of food. What about quality of a consciousness? Vedic times, Vedic science has taught us that if you are entering into the kitchen in the morning, you need to bathe yourself and then cook. That is actually Brahmanical. Today, who are the Brahmanas who are actually, taking bath in the morning and cooking? People have forgotten the basic Vedic science. They talk all about Hindus, Hindutva, all those things. Ultimately, people have become malicious. Ultimately, we really need to understand this. It is not that I was empowered to do this from a birth. Somehow, luckily, I came in touch with the devotees and they taught me what actually means by Brahmanical. This is not this 5 rupees thread which we wear. That is not making me Brahmanical. Brahmanical means he is clean in his thought, clean in his conscience, clean. He is actually developing the lifestyle wherein he can connect to Krishna. If you go to temple, we take bath. Everything what we do in our life is like a temple. Going to kitchen is a temple. Cooking is like a temple activity. Eating, having food is a temple activity. Everything is a temple activity. Hence, it's very, very important to be conscious of Krishna. That is only possible by the easiest process. Chanting. Start chanting. I will tell you, it transforms our life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna.